This week on the SheerLuxe Vodcast, I'm joined by Mia and Billie, and we talk all things Paris Fashion Week. I agree. When is Stella McCartney the standout?
There is something really exciting when you see a whole collection and you're like, I'd take all of it.
As well as the celebrity couple that we're all kind of obsessed with at the moment.
So now I'm worried for Timothee. I hope he doesn't get strapped down with a Kardashian curse. Because I love them. I'm really rooting for them. I think they're great.
The latest SheerLuxe launch that you really need to know about.
For years and years and years, we have been asked by our readers, our audience, people within SheerLuxe for an app of some type.
Plus, there are new makeup recommendations.
The V foundation, that does not budge.
And if you're struggling with friendships in your 30s, then we have all the advice for you. So many of my friends have got children and I am like so not there. I'm so not in that place of life. But I really started to notice that they were seeing each other so much in the context of having their kids. Yeah. So don't go anywhere. It's a good one. Welcome to the SheerLuxe Vodcast with me, Charlotte Collins. This week I'm joined by Mia Luckie and Billie Bhatia. Hi both.
Hello.
Hi.
We were just talking about formal intros. Mia Luckie, our Director of Marketing and Innovation.
That is my full title.
Billie, podcast host, journalist, all-round stylist babe. I was going to ask you what you were wearing, but before we start, please do subscribe on YouTube especially, but wherever you get your podcast, it really does help us out. So please do press that subscribe button if you like what you hear, what you see. Speaking of what you see, what are you wearing, Mia?
I'm wearing my new H&M studio blazer.
Oh,
Lou has this
yes,
as
the one that
well.
you tried on, yeah.
Collarless,
Nice.
very nice. Just a white tank, mint velvet, white barrel leg jeans, and some might say I've peaked too early with
it's a bit cold.
the mesh ballet flats.
Well, it was so lovely this
It
weekend.
was
was
gorgeous
so
yesterday.
nice. Like t-shirt weather.
It was a big tease. It was a big spring tease.
Yeah,
It really
I'm
was.
just channeling it, but I fear we've gone backwards into the dark already.
It's going to be 10 degrees colder tomorrow than it was yesterday.
Shame.
Isn't that really sad?
Oh, I don't know why I'm complaining. I'm so hot all the time.
Yeah,
It
and also
literally
you've just been on
doesn't-
holiday, so you're fine. Let's tell us what you're wearing, then I want to hear about the holiday.
I'm wearing Rene Studio silk trousers, Prada slingbacks, a little H&M chiffon blouse, ASOS blazer, and a Suzanne cardi.
Did I imagine that you found those in TK Maxx?
Yeah, no, I did.
You did,
No
didn't
Yeah.
you? The Prada look, yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was a really good find.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling with shoes right now. I don't know what to wear.
Like, I'm back in boots today and I'm like, oh, boots.
Yeah, but you wear boots well. See, I would walk about 10 paces and be stuck.
I don't walk in boots anywhere near as well as Hodge. She is the inspo, always.
I remember
She
this
walking.
from
It's
last time,
impressive. I talk about it a lot. I'm wearing a COS knit Reformation skirt and ASOS boots. I actually do really like these.
They're great boots.
Because they're burgundy, I feel like less bored by them or
Yeah.
less wintry than if I was wearing black, mixing things up a bit.
Cheeky.
Spring.
Looks good.
Yeah. What's going on, both? New and noteworthy. What have you got to tell us about, Mia?
Mine's actually just I'm wanting to go wild and shopping, and I really want these new Bottega. I don't know if they're that new actually, but I saw them on Tamara, you know, the influencer.
Oh, yeah.
Bottega, like rose tinted aviator sunglasses with like gold arms at the side. I'm just obsessed with them. I want them so bad.
I just bought some Bottega Sunnies, which are not
Oh,
like that
guys,
at
am I
all,
going to
but-
need some Bottega Sunnies?
Yeah, do you know what? I had 10 minutes in which I was waiting for Lola to get to Harrods so we could film something. And I was WhatsApping her, be like, you better hurry up because I'm going to buy something. Like, you need to get it anyway. I bloody did. And obviously, she got there and she was like, they're amazing. You have to get them. They're like black cat eyes. The arms are gold,
Nice.
but they tie up in a gold knot. They've got like a gold,
Oh,
they're like
I
knotted
love
there, like the
that.
little Bottega knot on the corner of the cat eyes. And I stopped buying designer sunglasses years ago. I was like, they're not worth
They are
it.
expensive.
They're so expensive.
Yeah.
Designer sunglasses used to be £150 and now they're
Oh,
like
it's now you're like
£400.
£400.
Yeah.
so expensive. And anyway, I just really fell hard.
You caved.
So I caved.
I wear my sunglasses more than anything
Yeah.
I own. So really
Yeah.
it works out
It's
okay.
true. It's true.
I'm a big fan of a designer sunglass.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you could look rough as fuck and then
Yeah.
put good sunglasses on and you're...
You look like a
difference.
badass.
Yeah, you look like a celebrity then.
Yeah,
And you're like,
it's
oh,
true.
right. What
Do you
hotel
know
did you
what?
just rolled out of?
To be
Yeah.
fair, I wore a cap and some sunnies when I was travelling home on the Eurostar on Saturday. I was like, I literally look so
People are going to
famous.
think I'm
They're going to be like, who is she? Cap and sunnies.
My favourites is the TikToks when you walk in your sunglasses.
Sunglasses
Sunglasses are an inside
We
accessory.
do that, yeah, because like there's a very short walk between our doors, on. And, you know, sometimes you faff with like your headphones and your phone and say the sunglasses just...
They stay
you know,
on
They stay
until
on
you
for a
reach
minute.
your
It's a statement,
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've got to look cool. It's the SheerLuxe office after all. Lou asks lots of really hard questions, but I've just spent 3 days really intensively with her, and she just loves to fire like really hard-hitting things that require
I
like a
don't
lot of
know that
thinking.
about her.
So one of them that I was like, oh my God, here we go again. I have to think so hard. Was what is your favourite piece in your wardrobe? Like your absolute favourite piece, which I find really hard because mine changes all the time. But I want to know what yours are.
Okay, I know it.
Go on.
God, that was
You were
quick.
quick, yeah.
It is my Loewe puzzle that's got like it's tan and it has a crochet trim.
I love that one.
The only downside is the crochet does get a bit mucky and you have to sort of like work out how to clean it. But like to the like looking crap and then looking good point, that really hooks me up. Like the rest of me can look so drab, and that's just a really quick thing. Also, you can fit so much in it.
Yeah, the puzzle is really good.
It's a hardworking.
Yeah,
it's
it
a hardworking bag.
It is. What's yours?
I'm going to be really basic. I'm a bit embarrassed to say it. But my Adidas Sambas, I just wear them so much.
I saw you make a TikTok this week about Sambas and how they're not dead in your
They
eyes.
go with everything.
It's true,
I'm
it's
sorry,
true.
but
Me
there's
too.
no outfit they don't go with.
Yeah.
I just think they work bloody hard.
Damn right.
Yours?
I don't think I have one. I get really excited when I get something new, and then I wear it and wear it and wear it, and then I get bored. So I don't know. I've got like a big shearling coat, which I love.
Yeah.
Maybe that.
Oh, the
because
black
it gets
one.
The black one. Maybe
Yeah.
because that was from Ray. But maybe because it gets less airtime than everything else.
Yeah, like when you wear it, you feel like amazing wearing
and I
it.
get to
Yeah.
whip it out again on the
Yeah.
few times.
God, I don't think I've got clothes that I'm like
I don't have a wow
obsessed
thing
with.
like that necessarily. My
What's your
H&M jumpers I do love. I'm not going to lie. The H&M full blend
casual
jumpers.
ones. Yeah, they're very good.
They're
very
so good.
That green one you have.
So good.
It's very good. Yeah, it might not be your favorite in like a year.
I think it will. I've had that for 2 years. I think
And it
they are
doesn't
amazing.
bubble?
No.
Oh,
I get
wow.
people message me saying it bubble, but I wonder if people wash them a bit intensely. Like I put it on a very, very low 20-degree, 20-minute wash.
Oh God, I've got no idea what I'm washing.
And that's it.
But I don't wash my knitwear unless it gets dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
Like I could wear it 5 days in a row, and if nothing spills,
God, yeah.
I won't wash it.
Problem
Same,
is,
same.
I spill within 10 minutes.
quite a
So
lot.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's got to hit the wall.
Yeah. Billy, anything new and noteworthy from you? Let's hear about your holiday, please.
Okay, so I went on a very special trip to Canouan, which is like a tiny island that's part of St. Vincent and Grenadines, to stay at Soho House there. Do a little write-up on it. I had no idea Canouan existed before, like 2 weeks before I went. And it's like a 3 miles long, tiny, tiny, tiny island, like population's less than 2,000. It was like really like sadly hit by a hurricane last July, so a lot of the island's still being rebuilt, and actually met the people who were like project managing rebuild on the island. But the hotel's gorgeous. Like it's very chill. I didn't wear shoes for like 4 days. Like just walking in and out the restaurants, no shoes. Like just proper dropped and flopped on the beach. Drank loads of like papaya frozen margs. Delicious.
Lovely.
Swam with some turtles. The water was gorgeous. Burnt really badly on the first day.
Oh no, did you?
Oh, I
So easily
get
done.
really cocky that because I'm already brown, I won't burn. And I did do an SPF application, but then like jumped in the water, obviously just flew off. Didn't put it back on, and we were on the sexiest boat I've ever been on.
A boat is the way to burn. Though.
It really
Yeah, it
is.
is,
Like
yeah.
everything's coming at you from all
Yeah.
angles. And I was such a baby about it the next day. I was like, oh my God, my shoulder. And saw everybody else and how much worse their burn was.
really?
And I was like,
Really, everyone
I
got-
need to stop.
At least wasn't to do. At least wasn't to do. Yeah, there's nothing worse than being the only really burnt person on holiday.
Yeah, you feel quite insecure, don't
Quite
you?
exposed.
If you want like a stunning, do nothing, just sit and listen to the water kind of holiday, Soho House Canouan.
How do you get there?
So you fly to Barbados and then you can take a charter flight over. It's like another 45 minutes.
It's not too bad.
Is it
It's
a
not,
little
it's not
propeller
bad at
plane?
all. Yeah, a little propeller plane.
A lot of people don't like those.
No, and I feel like I'm one of those people that gets quite anxious about small planes, mainly because I'm like, how's it staying up? So it's so small.
I feel more like that about big planes.
Really?
Like I understand. How does it like an A380, which is like a 2-level jumbo? Like how is that floating?
I feel like
in
you
the
can
sky?
hear how loud those engines are. Like they're
Yeah, no,
roaring.
I understand a propeller more.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it like if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
To anyone who's afraid, it's really not that bad. The only bad bit is when you see them like pulling the handle to like get the plane off the floor, and I'm like, oh right, it's
manual
real like
job.
it's real manpower that's going into it.
Great, sounds so safe.
But yeah, great food, great drinks, great weather.
So nice. Can I tell you about Paris?
Yes,
'Cause I've also
please.
been travelling. As I mentioned, Lou, India on our team, and I were in Paris last week for 4 days, 3 nights. I lived in Paris for a year, and I've been back obviously a lot since. And I had fallen quite out of love with it. The last couple of times I've been a bit like, oh, it's just really small and it's really grey and to twee, and I'm over it. Paris in the sunshine, I'm like reborn with my Paris.
It's like magical.
I'm like, when am I moving? I have.
The buildings look so beautiful in the sunshine, don't they? Yeah,
beautiful. And like, I know London obviously looks amazing in the sunshine, but I feel like it's still only sort of the best bits of London that look really amazing. Whereas Paris, every part of it looks incredible. And we went to so many showrooms, and designers take over people's apartments to show their collections. So every room we walked into was another like unbelievable property, somebody else's private home with incredible art and floor-to-ceiling windows and totally floodlit with sunlight and just so stunning. And it just made me want to live there again.
Lush.
But you only want to live there in those
totally.
townhouses.
And it's never in those houses and in that weather, and it is never like that.
And preferably with those clothes.
Yeah. Like, that life that I have for 3 days, I want that life. Is that not real? So yeah, it was total heaven, and saw some amazing.
Yeah, tell us, what were the highlights?
Paris is 9 days long, right? Did you used to do the full 9 days?
No, I would, we'd split it in half.
Okay.
So I would do the first half. I would go out on the Tuesday for Saint Laurent, and then I would be back Saturday morning.
Well, Saint Laurent is showing last.
Yeah,
this season,
they switched.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't think that many people these days still go for the full 9 days, but
It's a long
crazy.
time.
Yeah, and you have to sort of pick your days. So we went for a kind of central couple of days. Day one, we had Stella, which was easily the highlight of the whole thing. It was absolutely amazing. When everything just comes together and like the collection is incredible and the people watching is amazing, and just
I loved the setup.
The setup was incredible. It basically took place it was in some like random address. When you're in a taxi, you're like, where the hell are we going? It was on the 6th floor of a random office building, and it was literally an office. It looked like SheerLuxe, like it was an office, and they had made the runway sort of kind of in and around desks. Everybody had a swivel chair. I sat down, I was like, my chair at SheerLuxe is way more comfortable than this. There were printers and there were photocopiers. Like, it was a proper office. It was a sort of immersive experience. Like, we were just talking about immersive theatre before, and they had, before the show even started, when people were sitting down, which normally isn't like a moment for some kind of element of showmanship, there were these dancers all in kind of, they were obviously wearing Stella kind of work style clothing, doing these really kind of elaborate, quite provocative dancing kind of scenes where they were throwing paper up in the air and then like signing it on each other's backs, and it was like you had to kind of navigate around them to find your seat, which was cool. Then Cameron Diaz showed up, which was obviously like random.
Quite random.
Sure.
Yeah, she's not like on the circuit really,
Not
is she?
at all. I'm guessing she's friends with Stella. Like Stella,
sure.
tends to pull in her mates, because why wouldn't you when you've got a
can,
network
yeah.
like that? Exactly. So Stella was sat with Kate, and Olivia Colman was sat like
I saw her in your stories.
Oh yeah, I was busy filming Cameron Diaz where everyone was filming, and then I just looked down and Olivia Colman, she sat there. Everyone's ignoring Olivia Colman.
She is so cool.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
When I saw Lisa Armstrong, who's the fashion director at the Telegraph, wrote that she got there promptly. Everything was running so behind. We'd been at a show before that ran 45 minutes late. It was an hour late to start, because that's just what happens in Paris. She had written that her and Olivia Colman were like promptly there on time, and they were like the only two people just sat there like waiting for it to start. Yeah.
God, I would have loved that.
I know.
It's just like
so
a private
juicy,
audience with Olivia Colman.
Everyone coming in
yeah.
one by one.
We had seen Richard E. Grant on our Eurostar that morning, and as we walked out of the Eurostar, there was a sign being like, Richard Grant. Like, oh, who's that? Anyway, he was at the Stella show as well, looking really cool, and I'd seen him walk at Burberry the week before, so he's doing the set. We've been in a lot of the same rooms together in the last few weeks. There is a Paris Fashion Week diaries on site, so there's more detail there. But feel so inspired coming back, spending 3 days just in like beautiful spaces and seeing amazing clothes and out in the fresh air really does wonders. Before we move on, please a reminder to subscribe to our podcast. If you're enjoying all of our excellent banter and witty chats, then please do subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I want to talk about hot topic. I feel like I've been talking a lot, but just quickly, can I give you mine?
Yeah.
Which is Doechii X Fashion Week, because I don't know how much this is on your guys' radar.
Not at all for me.
Okay, so I've been banging on about Doechii for like 5 months. Even I was kind of late to the party then, but she's, for those who don't know, an incredible musician.
She's epic,
she's amazing. She's a real kind of wordsmith, rap, musical talent, kind of creative visionary as well. Her music and kind of her performance is very kind of boundary pushing and creative and unusual. She came on my radar when she did a Tiny Desk performance, which is that kind of, I think it's for YouTube, Tiny Desk,
love
right?
Tiny Desk.
Me too. Hers is absolutely
I haven't
amazing.
actually listened to
my
it
God,
yet.
you need to watch it.
I need to.
It's a kind of opportunity for artists to kind of showcase their creativity, and hers is just amazing. And
Is it the one where she's attached to the other girls?
no, so that was the other. So she went on the Stephen Colbert show in like, I think this was maybe October, November, and exactly that. It was her and 2 backup dancers, and they all had braids, and they were all attached to each other, and they're all wearing identical Gucci outfits.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's just really kind of unlike anything we've ever seen before. I'm loath to bring in Kanye, but there's kind of shades of like early days Kanye, like just really kind of fresh and different. Anyway, she won a Grammy in February, whenever the Grammys were, for Best Rap Album, which has kind of put her a bit more on the kind of mainstream radar. Yeah. And she's basically become a darling of the fashion world in the last like 4 weeks, right? She wore Tom Brown for that performance, and like the entire, again, a bit like that Gucci Stephen Colbert performance, everyone was wearing kind of Tom Brown and just looked so cool, so powerful, so exciting. And she opened the D Squared show in Milan last week, which has also had a lot of press attention because it was their 30th anniversary. They did this enormous, incredible showcase with cars and huge celebrity talent. She looked incredible in that. She then was at this Louvre benefit that happened, they're calling it like the Paris Met Gala, which took place on the first night of Paris Fashion Week in this unbelievable yellow, I think it's Valentino.
It is Valentino, yeah.
Oh my God, jewel encrusted. We'll put a picture on screen. Maxi, like the most feminine, beautiful, couture, total opposite to kind of the Tom Brown look or
I think it was Valentino Couture, wasn't it?
It must have been. Yeah, absolutely. Just stunning, beautiful dress. And she's just continuing to pop up. She then went to the Chloe show and wore, ethereal, beautiful lace Chloe barefoot on the red carpet.
All she's such different vibes.
Such a chameleon, and she's such a kind of perfect vessel for fashion because she's kind of got this really chameleon-like quality.
Yeah.
And I'm just like obsessed with her talent, obsessed with her now being this fashion. She's going to be, I can't wait to see her at the Met Gala.
Who's done her? Has anyone done her as a cover star yet?
No.
Oh, surely
Doechii.
that's March.
Do you want to come to us? March. She'll be all over March. Yeah, exactly. She'll be front cover of Vogue, I'm sure.
And she's just done a collab with Nike, right?
She's done a collab with Nike.
Yeah.
She also has got the song, which is the only song in everyone's head
Denial
this
is a
week.
river.
No, Anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Anxiety. Ben goes to me this week and he goes, "What's that song on TikTok that goes, brup?" And I was like, what are you talking about? He meant that one.
That's the one bit he takes away from it.
It does. If you listen, it does go, "My anxiety."
She does make some like interesting noises in her
She
songs.
does. She does. Yeah. She's also got this wild story. So like that Anxiety song was something she recorded in her bedroom in 2020 and has now become, it's like been used as a track and it's whatever, obviously completely blown up. And she just, there are all these videos of her from during the pandemic where she's like, fuck, I've just quit my job or I've just been fired from another job. And like, I'm just gonna, this is it. I'm gonna try and make it. Like, I really believe in myself. I'm gonna make it. And look at her now.
Look at her now. Yeah, that's so mega.
Yeah. So get to know if you don't
Maybe you
know.
should do her PR. You
Yeah.
really did a good job on
I want her
that.
to come start, don't she? I do. I've been really flying the flag with her for a few months. I think she's incredible.
Oh, I think like watch the next 2 weeks and you'll see even more. Like I think it always starts at that top tier level, doesn't it? Where it's like, okay, she's being dressed, and then it's like, how do we get her as a face of? And like every brand then starts to fight over that talent, and it's always so fun to like see how that unfolds.
Yeah. She's just the hottest thing at the moment.
Yeah.
I know everyone keeps talking about Timothee Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, but they were spotted this weekend at a tennis match.
Yeah.
And I just can't get over how cute and sweet they are. They are the most adorable couple ever. The weirdest pairing, in my opinion, but love them. But everyone is saying that everyone's waiting for his like demise essentially, and him not winning an Oscar last week was the start of it, because there is this Kardashian curse
With a K.
with a K
Yeah.
that whenever they get into like a serious relationship with someone, it is then the ruin of that man.
Oh.
It's like a thing apparently.
I suppose actually when I just flick through them in my head.
Yeah, same.
That's kind of true.
So now I'm worried for Timothy. I hope he doesn't get struck down with a Kardashian curse, because I love them. I'm really rooting for them. I think they're great.
Ditto.
And I feel
guys, I
like
can't get
they get
behind
so
it.
much shit, and I just think it's unfair.
I just find them so random.
She's actually very much his type, right? Like he actually he does quite like a Nepo baby. And
That's the type.
yeah, but he's like,
hang on, are we calling
Lily
Kylie
Rose-
Jenner a Nepo baby?
like, okay, Nepo family.
Nepo sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she had a leg up in one way or another,
She
right?
did have a leg
So
up.
like he went out with Lourdes Leon at high school, and then he went out with Lily Rose
I forgot
Depp.
that.
She's like his type, and I just I feel like I'm like a total Karen for like not getting behind them because it's like, oh, cute young love, whatever. Call Me by My Name is like my favorite film, and so he's my background on my WhatsApp.
I actually just think it sounds like you're a bit jealous of her.
No, that's not the thing. That's the thing, right? I can't fancy him at all because he's so childlike. Like he's so tiny and like.
So what's the obsession if you don't?
I just think I just like I'm fascinated by him as a person.
Okay. You just like support him as an actor.
Yeah, and then but I do think that maybe he has skipped the curse because
I hope so.
The PR around their initial relationship was that they were like desperately trying to pull them apart because they were like, you're not going to get any serious roles, you're not going to be taken like as a credible actor, you're not going to get any nominations, blah blah blah. And he's still obviously done great work,
and he's obviously clearly very determined to continue to do great work.
He is talented. And look, she's very talented at lots of things, business related. I think maybe
that they'll be
they've
the
just
odds.
split it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was me actually being a fan. I don't know.
Yeah, you've just worked through it.
Yeah.
We saw it in real time. Can I ask, is Call Me by Your Name not ruined for you by
No, I can't
Armie
think about
Hammer?
it. I just have to like block
You
that
block
thing out. Yeah.
Because I love that film and I haven't revisited it since all of the allegations around him and all the drama, and I just feel like it's given me such an ick now.
I do agree, but I sort of just have to see it in situ as the character
fine.
and not as Armie Hammer. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's just,
Like,
it's only because he turned out to be so predatory IRL, and then he's so predatory in that film.
yeah.
That just doesn't sit quite right.
Yeah, but uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful film.
Now I'm rethinking.
I've
It's a day of
really
so many realizations.
Sorry about that. I think what's more likely to be the undoing of him, and the reason he's not taken seriously, is whoever is styling him at the
He
moment.
styles himself.
That'll be why.
Yeah.
What is with
Well, like the
celebrities
yellow
doing
suit,
this?
you're not into
Just,
that.
I really loved when he was again a bit of a kind of fashion darling, and remember, I will never forget the Hader Ackerman halter neck that he wore, and just. Like, I'm not saying that I love a man in a halter neck, but it felt really daring and different. And I'm not into the grungy Gen Z thing.
Didn't like the pink tracksuit at the awards. That was a bit strange.
And like the
to me.
denim, like the straight leg denim. I'm just
Sometimes he gets it really, really right. Like mainly when he leans into a Hader Ackerman look.
I think so.
But yeah, no, he's on style. I think he has like style advisors, but I don't think he has like a dedicated stylist.
But I do think so often. I mean, it's like the barbification of the red carpet, right? People are trying to just channel their characters, and I think this whole kind of Bob Dylan, he's obviously taken some inspo from the kind of beatnik thing, because this is not his normal style, what he's been doing for the last kind of 2-3 months or so. I want to see him back in kind of sophisticated era. Let's get another Dune film out, and he can be back in some tailoring.
some neutrals,
some neutrals, some sand-coloured stuff, you know. I'm here for that.
You either want him to be dressed feminine or playing it safe. Is that right?
Correct. Correct. Kardashian curse. I mean, when you run through them, just the ones that spring to mind, Lamar.
Yes.
Are you watching the new series?
I want to watch it because apparently they're back together or something.
No,
right?
he's just in it.
Oh, right.
They're just a bit of kind of
That's just what they're just teasing
they're not
you
back together. Yeah.
I've actually never watched it.
I
love it.
I'm really bad on reality TV.
I don't watch
love
any
reality
other reality
TV.
TV. I just really love the Kardashians.
I pretty much
yeah.
exclusively watch reality TV and BBC crime shows, and that's about it.
I always think of you as like a Marcella kind of gal.
Yes, exactly. Bang on.
ITV.
Oh, right, okay.
ITV and BBC.
Okay, British.
British
crime
shows.
I'd say.
I want to watch that Verdi one. Is that good?
I've
Have you
heard
seen
of that,
on
Verdi.
BBC? I think it's like a police detective crime
Okay, add that to the
search.
list.
Can I just talk about Severance for a minute, because it is so brilliant. I don't want to be one of those people that's like,
Can we have a little
season
bit
one?
of
Yeah.
bio on it? Yeah.
We waited
Yeah.
2 years from season 1 to season 2 because of the writer strikes and all sorts of things. And now suddenly, I don't know why, it's kind of blown up in season 2 and everyone's talking about it. And so many people kind of binged the whole thing last week. And I'm like, I've been waiting 2 years for this follow up. We've talked about it before, but it's kind of set in a slightly dystopic universe. We're not quite sure where it's set. A town that is centered around a business called Lumon, a huge kind of enterprise called Lumon. And Lumon do this thing on some of their employees who volunteer to be severed. It's severance, which means that basically they have an innie and an outie, and their innie is the version of them at work, and their outie is the version of them outside of work, and each one doesn't know anything about the other one. So when they enter the office building, their severance, the chip in their brain is kind of flicked on, and they know nothing about who they are outside of work, and then the same when they leave. Basically, you follow kind of 4 core characters with some other side characters as well, and it's all about season 1 is all about them sort of trying to unpick severance, and as I said, they volunteered for it for various personal reasons, but it's kind of, season 1 really sets the scene for kind of them being unhappy with the severance process and trying to kind of fight back against Lumen, who don't necessarily have the best intentions. And season 2 is dark as hell and so wild. And I've never enjoyed a show through TikTok more. Like, I watch an episode and then I go straight to TikTok to be like, okay, someone needs to explain all of this to me.
Sounds a bit handmade.
It's a bit it kind of is, except it looks and feels like it's set in modern day and times, and but you're like, this isn't quite right, this isn't quite reality, but you can't quite put your finger on why not. It's not like Handmaid's, where you're like, okay, clearly this big thing happened and the world is so different. Like, the producers released this paper, which is supposedly like from the Severance universe, which was never mentioned in the show, but it's like out on the internet to see, and like all these little bits of clues, and you're basically, where we're going is trying to work out kind of why these characters are there and what Lumen's big intention is, particularly for these characters. Guys, it's so
You've
good.
described it better than, I mean, maybe is the second series just more juicier than the first? Because the first one is quite, like,
it's really slow,
dull and boring.
It's really slow, but then the final episode of season 1, you're like, no fucking way. Okay. Like, it literally, your mouth, I was like,
all right,
no.
I only got halfway through.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
I really
Okay, I'll get to the end.
please do. And I'm looking for people to talk about it with all the time, because I'm so invested. It's so good. Anything hot to talk about, Billy?
Since I've moved back to Leicester, I don't know why I've got in my head that I'm like not in the zeitgeist of London. So I've been.
It's all happening on the phone. It's not.
I know.
It's
I don't know why I think like Soho will be the answer to like all my problems. I really had a flick through Demois this morning, and I don't know whether it's like age or something, but I don't know if I care anymore about the celeb gossip. Maybe it's the like moving out of like a big city. I don't know, but
you've been gone for like 3 weeks.
I know, and I've gone on
old life
2 trips.
London.
Guys, I think I should just come back. Like, I think all the signs point come back to London.
Better in London.
But I was like, oh right, there with that person. All right, that's changed, and I'm like,
go for it.
Maybe because I'm not obsessed with any of them that I used to be, and maybe this is the bigger conversation. Even the Meghan Markle stuff that's come out of this, I'm like, why do you care so like deeply about this? Like, what is it that is bothering you that is like making you write 2,000 words on like
I agree with that.
a rainbow platter of fruit, like vegetables? I watched some of it yesterday. Yeah, and yes, it is like it's a little bit like gross.
Pointless.
And a bit pointless. Gross in the sense that I was like, you have a gorgeous life, and I'm not taking that away from you, but a lot of people don't have that, and this feels a little bit tone deaf. Like, that's kind of it. Yeah, like it's not that deep.
I fully agree with that. By the way, I say this all the time. You said to me something about something being not that deep in like January, and all I say to anyone ever is, guys, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's so true. Nothing is that deep. I watched 3 episodes of Meghan as well, and God, every time we criticize Meghan, we get kind of accused of sort of of all sorts of things. But my view is, again, if somebody's going to make a Netflix show, they're kind of putting themselves up for conversation. I actually watched it and thought, well, she's really likeable in this. Yeah. I really liked her in it. It's a load of rubbish. It's a load of
she's likeable.
Yeah, I actually did think she was likeable.
There's also so much rubbish. Everywhere. Like, but I think we have to sort of mute some of that a little bit. Otherwise, you find yourself like giving energy to something that's it's not that deep.
It's not that deep. Exactly. Just let.
Do I want to now like put treats on someone's bedside table? Yeah, a bit. Like,
I can't say I was wholly inspired by it. And I watched somebody talk through the fruit platter today, and they were like, "Meghan, this is $4,000 worth of fruit. No one can afford this amount of fruit."
It's also such a huge amount of time to talk about the fruit. I was like, it's fruit.
They were like, she made a baby platter, and it's like, babe, we could have worked out how to just make that smaller. Like, we probably didn't need you to do it twice. Anyway, look, there's so many things that you can pick apart about it, and my God, the internet has. Yeah. But I agree with you. Like, I watched it, and I was like, she seems friendly. She looks amazing. And I think she's so beautiful.
If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Yeah, like, no one's like forcing you to, eyes forward, watch Meghan make a cake. Yeah, like, it's not. Yeah, skip if you're not interested.
Exactly. Let's quickly run through a mustn't miss. You've got something very exciting to tell everyone about. You go.
We have launched, we're sort of like in the middle of launching the SheerLuxe Community app, which is very exciting. I am actually allowed to use the word exciting in this.
No, you can use it. You may use it on this occasion.
We have a very small usage of the word exciting. It's been banned by everyone in this business.
But this is so exciting.
Yeah. For years and years and years, we have been asked by our readers, our audience, people within SheerLuxe for an app of some type. We launched the SheerLuxe Community a couple of years ago now, and it was in a website form before. It was very much an online forum, was really, really loved by so many people and has grown to a really nice state that we've now given it a facelift and an upgrade and launched it as a full app that you can download on your phone, and it's just a so much better experience. I mean, peer-to-peer information sharing platform where our audience can rate and recommend things that they're loving, ask questions to a wider audience that they maybe wouldn't have access to ask in the first place. And so far, it's gone really well. We're having our launch party this Thursday.
We are, and it looks
That's so exciting.
amazing.
That is so exciting. You're allowed that there.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
You know, we are asked all the time, have always been asked, when would you do an app? When would you do an app? And this feels like the right version of an app for us as a business. So
community is so important, and I feel like that's the biggest word of this year, isn't it? Like everybody is desperate to like feel part of a community, be like active in one, seek one out. Totally. Like everybody wants this connection, and whether that's through fashion or beauty or sport or reading or whatever, like
100%.
Sign me up. I want to be in every community.
Yeah, please join our community. And, we're so lucky that we've over time very slowly built, this really organic, amazing community that we love and who, have the best recommendations. So why not kind of let them help each other out?
House for them all.
Exactly.
And we actually onboarded a group of 20 founding members of the SheerLuxe community over Zoom last week. Me and Victoria led the sessions, and it was just so lovely to see everyone IRL. It was digital version, but chat with each other, discuss amongst themselves what they were excited to talk to each other about, and like just see them actually in real life, because it is all online and it's not fake, it's real, but like you don't see that real tangible person. And we saw 20 of them all on these separate sessions, and it just felt really special.
Love that.
Yeah, it was great.
There'll also be events that people can sign up to via the app.
Yeah.
So all sorts of kind of exclusive things going on there. So
exactly.
where can you download it, Maya? Do a hard plug.
You can go to your app store, whether it's on an Android or an iPhone, type in SheerLuxe Community and download it.
You got anything you've enjoyed on SheerLuxe?
My favourite TikTok videos are the ones where you all do impressions of each other of how you're going to walk into your house.
We need to do more of those.
I'm obsessed, and like really got in my head about it on the way, and I was like, I wonder whether I have a way that I walk into the SL office.
Basically, I get accused of being a very stompy walker, so I was really, really pleasantly surprised when all of mine weren't just somebody like thundering through.
Yeah, you remember everyone was more flicky for you.
Flicky.
Yeah.
Remember that Balenciaga runway where they literally stomped down the runway? I thought that was what was coming my way, so I was thrilled that everyone just thinks
Hodges, your one is also my favourite.
Hodges is
so
accurate.
Good.
It's so good.
And that's what I miss about being in office. It's like those little nuanced interactions of like how people interact with each other and the kind of like just the general the general lols.
There's one on LG of Lola, which I actually think, I don't know if like the wider SheerLuxe audience will know that so well, but I thought was the most accurate, but it's better than the one for Hodge, because Lola, when you don't realise somebody's like personal quirks and then you see them when other people do the impressions and you're like, oh my God, this is so spot on.
She was so unaware though. She watched all of it back and was like, that is not me. I don't come in with my head down and like, why am I always slouched like this? And we were like,
it's literally you. Like this is literally exactly you. So they're very good at it too. Billy, before we move on to dilemmas, what are you up to? Your pod is back.
The pod is back. It's very exciting. Sasha and I are doing remote records, which mine have all been very remote. So I did the first one in Leicester, the second one in Canouan, and the third one in another hotel. I was like, this really looks like I'm not at home and I need to go home. But it is so fun to be back, and it's so like on your point of community. It's so nice when people are like, God, we missed you in our ears and we missed this, and everyone's kind of joins in like the little silly spilly chat. So it is, it's fun. It's good. It's good to be back.
What can people expect from this season?
We blasted through so many big topics in the last season, like weight and divorce and body image and careers, and kind of like quite heavy stuff that made us both sob uncontrollably to camera, that we were like, maybe we should pull that back a tiny bit and we'll just do some like the conversations that we normally have day to day. A bit more of those on the pod, which is actually like really lovely to have a relaxing convo. And naturally, like those bigger topics still come up, but in a less like, okay, today we're going to nail this topic. And I'm like, oh, that's a really big thing to do, to like expose yourself that deeply, which the exposing still happens, and it still will continue to happen, will always be that way. But it's really nice to have like the light the light funny in there too, and just general shit chat, really.
Girly chat.
Girly chat, yeah. That's a better way of saying shit chat.
Shit, girly, whatever. Same. What's it called for those who don't know?
The podcast is called Spill, and you can get it on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. And yes, or you can find it on my Instagram or Sasha Polari's Instagram.
Also, tell us about sports. Speaking of communities, what's the latest?
Club Squash.
That's it.
It's still up and running. I'm actually working across potentially 3 events happening in the next few weeks. I really want to do a squash event back at my old squash club in Leicester, so I'm kind of in talks with them. And now that the sun's back out, I'm like, let's do a big walk. So there's going to be loads of club squash events coming in the next month or so. Okay. So I'll have to drag you guys down.
The walk.
Yeah.
The walking one sounds
you can stomp.
I will stomp my way on your walk. Great. And where can we find out about these? Probably on Instagram?
Yes, on Instagram, yes.
Let's answer some dilemmas. Somebody has said, I put way more effort into my friends than they do to me. I can't find a real girlfriend. Sad. What do I do? That makes me sad.
That's really sad.
I mean, there's no context, but there was a really interesting piece on I think it was on The Cut this weekend about friends in different stages of life. And it was particularly about single friends versus those who've got married and have babies. And it was basically analysing why both sides feel kind of neglected by the other. And I guess for the three of us, we're all at that kind of phase in life as well, where those changes start to happen. So maybe we kind of put it in the context of being in your mid-30s, putting effort into girlfriends, finding real girlfriends. What's your advice?
I have this one friend, and we've always said from our sort of 20s, we say it to each other, we remind ourselves that this is the way, because we're quite loving, caring friends. We say yes to everything. We're never the ones that flake and cancel, blah, blah, blah. And then we're always quite disappointed in response to how our other friends treat us. And we always remind each other, you can't expect to be treated the way you treat others. I just always keep that in my head so that I don't get really disappointed in people. Because it's not that they're bad people or that they are disrespecting you. They just have different ways of handling situations. And I think that's more so than ever in your 30s, especially when you have friends that have had a child and they're feeling neglected because maybe they're lonely and isolated and you're not paying as much interest to their child as they would want you to. But equally, you might be someone struggling with that journey and wondering whether you want children or not, or can you have children? And so putting your energy into them is difficult because that upsets you. And I think you just have to always remind yourself of that. Everyone has their own woes going on.
I literally had this conversation at the weekend with someone who was kind of going through a similar situation and had exactly the same advice. Don't lower your standard of communication, don't lower your standard of friendship. You put everything that you want to put into a friendship, but you have to remove the expectation that will be equally matched. What I would say, and I don't know if this person is able to do this, but I would go on a solo trip and take myself off out of an environment that felt like it was serving me, and just go and meet new people in a new place and remind yourself that you can make those human connections on a different level and with a different type of person aside from the ones that you feel like you're being disappointed by.
It's very confidence building doing that.
Yeah.
I would also advise talking to your friends. So many of my friends have got children and I am so not there. I'm so not in that place of life. But I really started to notice that they, particularly my school crowd who are my oldest best friends, were seeing each other so much in the context of having their kids. So I tried to, a couple of weeks ago, or there were various moments where I'd reached out and they were like, oh, well, we're all at this one's second birthday party, or, oh, well, all the kids are coming to, because obviously they're kind of socializing in that context and they, A, don't think I want to be there, B, I probably kind of don't really want to be there, but I kind of also want to be included and I want to be able to be there sometimes, and it's a really difficult dynamic. So I just said it to one of them, just FYI, I get why you don't invite me to your kid's birthday party because you don't think I want to do that at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and I probably don't, but I also might want to grab a coffee and come and see my friends for an hour and pop in and give your child a present, because
have the option to
have
do
the
it,
option. And because no, I don't want kids right now, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I want to be surrounded by children all weekend long, but they're also my friends, and therefore by default I care about their children and I'm happy to be in that environment. So
but they probably feel like they're doing that out of the goodness of their heart.
I think they think they do me a favour.
The person treating you that way isn't doing it because
Exactly.
they feel a certain
Yeah, no, it's a
negativity.
protective thing. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, you know, we know Charlotte won't want to do that.
Of course,
or,
of course.
you know,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
no.
blah.
And I take no offense in it because I know, they're my oldest friends. I have no,
Yeah.
I've got no insecurities about it, but it made me sad.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
just
Because you're like
relevant.
losing
Yeah.
the connection of your friendship.
Exactly. And especially when they are all then spending so much time
Totally.
together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's worth just saying something. Say
I
something to the
agree.
one that you feel closest to, or the one
Yeah.
that you feel most comfortable saying something to, and that's what I did. And I hope the message has gone back. To see you at the birthday party soon. But yeah, just flag it. Somebody has asked tips for showing up as your best self in work and leveling up so you can keep progressing. Nice one for both of you.
Oh,
Really?
okay. I guess it depends what you want out of that situation. Like, do you want to progress? Do you want to move on up? I remember when I was at Elle, I didn't get a promotion that I thought I was entitled to just by proxy of being in the job for a certain amount of time. I had a really close relationship with my manager at the time, and I was so upset by it that someone who'd been in the business a less amount of time that I was moving up, and there were some like politics involved in it, but bottom line of it is that I thought that I'd done enough to secure that job. And she had a really frank conversation with me, and she was like, you're really good at your job, but the promotion is not that job. The promotion's a different job. It's a job that requires you to be doing more than you're currently doing. You need to be doing this, and this. You need to be extraordinary at what you're doing. And I thought, one, I'm really mad at you for saying that. But the bigger
'cause it struck a
takeaway,
nerve.
yeah, I was like, damn it. The bigger takeaway is that I kind of need to push myself a bit harder and not be complacent. But I sort of had this goal in my head, and I think putting a timeline on things like this is really helpful, where I'm like, for 6 months, I am going to knock everybody out the park, and I'm going to be the best that I can possibly be. I'm going to make sure that I'm like sleeping, eating, living this job, and showing everybody why I deserve that next bit. Give yourself a timeline and show up in like confidence that you can achieve all the things that you want to achieve, and then fly.
I love that.
Very
Great
nice.
advice.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Mike?
Staying in your own lane and concentrating on yourself. Being your best version of yourself is all about you, not worrying about everyone else in the business. Like, you have your own career, your own job to fulfill and to do to your best ability. Don't get distracted by the noise around you, I would say.
That's very good advice.
So agree, but I'm not going to add anything because I so agree. Finally, less of a dilemma, more of a question. Somebody has said, foundation that stays on the whole working day. Please tell me.
I'd like
Foundation
to know.
queens. I've got
a really good one.
I apply a lot.
Yeah, but yours stays on so well. So go on, what's yours?
You have great skin though.
Yeah, she has
Thank
amazing
you.
skin.
Okay, I've got two. One for like if you want a really light touch foundation. I literally talk about this foundation like every day. The Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint.
Oh, I've not
use
tried
that.
it.
I've got it on.
I don't want a light touch though.
Got it on now. No, neither did I. Like until I used this, and I was like, "This is bloody brilliant."
Okay.
And the other one is the Vive Complexion Balm.
Oh yeah.
The Vive foundation. That does not budge.
I love that brand. I've not tried the foundation.
It's
neither.
so good.
That's
I
good to
was
know.
an Estee Lauder Double Wear Till I Die.
And
Well, that
really,
does
you
stay
should-
on all
that
day.
does stay on.
That stays on all day. But I did find that it started to like dry out my skin a bit, and
it's
it was
heavy.
it was a little bit grainy. But the Vive one and the Lisa Eldridge one, 10 out of 10.
Really good to know. Really good to know.
And get a setting spray.
Yeah, actually,
I don't do that,
I
yeah.
haven't set my makeup in ages, and I'm really noticing now I need to go back to the setting spray and powder.
I was going to say spray over powder. Do we think?
Yeah,
I like both.
both
Yeah.
Together.
I would never do powder under my eyes because I find that's where I crease the most.
Yeah.
But I always powder like this section because I get quite like shiny and oily. And then I would spray on top, yeah.
Interesting. And the setting sprays that you both like?
The Charlotte Tilbury.
Oh, I use Urban Decay.
Oh,
Those-
do you?
Ride or Die, yeah.
Those are like
I
the
never
two.
got on with that one.
I love it. The black and purple one.
Yeah. You know what? I think I was just biased to the bottle. I didn't like the bottle. Yeah.
Bad branding. Not into it. Maya, what's the foundation then? for you?
The one that I'm using at the moment is a combination. It's Kylie Cosmetics Skin Tint. And I kind of put that on first, almost like it is a foundation. It's definitely not like a primer, but I put that on first. And then I just go over with a couple of swatches of the Dior stick. Have you
Oh
done that?
yeah, just try
Really
it.
good.
It's very good.
Very
But
into that.
you're right. You need like you need a little something underneath
To
that
sit
Dior
underneath,
stick.
just
yeah.
then it really melts in quite nicely. I
Yeah,
find.
and it still gives you glow because it's quite mattifying.
Yeah, it is
that
matte.
stick. Yeah.
Quite a nice combo.
I'm really into my foundations at the minute.
Yeah, I love it. Here's the foundation chat. We should do more of that next time. All right, thank you both so much.
Thanks for
Great
having
chat.
me.
And thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, then drop us a DM and do subscribe, please, everywhere you get your podcasts, and follow us on YouTube. Do check out the SheerLuxe Community app, sign up, because we're really excited about it. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.